Happy Thursday. So I was not around yesterday. I was doing stuff yesterday and moving through a whole lot. But I do want to really let everyone know that every Wednesday night, because I talked to the studio owner, starting next week, I will be having my Wednesday night class live. So for those of you who are really far away, we'll be able to catch it on IG and join the conversation that I have before meditation. And I say that the class is an hour, but we always go over. And so like last night, we didn't get out of there till like 8:30. Nobody's ever mad, or at least they don't tell me that they're mad. But because we always have a discussion prior, because it is completely custom meditation. So whatever people are feeling into and needing to discuss, that's how Spirit guides the meditation. And so if you want to join that, it'll be Wednesday nights at 7. Right now, we're Mountain Standard Time, but we're that weird space where we don't change at all. So right now, we're really like Pacific Standard Time. So Wednesday nights, we'll be doing that, just so you know. So happy Thursday. Thursday is the day ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. And so really feel into that for yourself, the planet of abundance, and how do you accept abundance, and what is your version of success and abundance, and is it skewed by programming rather than spirit, right? Because we are our most abundant self when we are in service, and that's how we are actually able to receive. And that's the misconception. The ego and our programming says that we need to earn our worth, right? And so earning it is a duty. And when we do anything out of duty, it takes us out of spirit. So it's not service at all. Sometimes service is just stillness. It's holding space and it's receiving. And so you will know when you're guided by spirit what exactly that means for you. It's different for everyone. And when you're completely aligned, you'll know, because your life becomes more abundant. And when you are aligned and allow spirit to guide you, you are employed by the universe. And so there is nothing that you will have to desire or need for, and it will be provided. So, my spread for today is pretty intense. So I was moving through a lot on vacation, and I shared that in my video Tuesday, because yesterday I skipped. And so I was actually moving through so much of that yesterday. I didn't even want to record, and I didn't give anybody a heads up about my class. So I didn't record the class, and literally I had everyone in there crying last night. And I said, I guess it's a good thing we're not recording. And but it was beautiful and so affirming for me. Also, that the true crying, it wasn't just this, small tears. It was like full on ugly crying from a few. And I love that, because that is the greatest gift that someone could give me when I'm holding space, is that they allow themselves to crack open in such a vulnerable way. That shows trust. And it's an affirmation for me, because we are one, right? And anything that we experience in our reality is just us. And so my reality has become very cohesive and beautiful. And that was so affirming for me, because what I need to move through is trusting myself more. And so that ultimate level of trust shown to me in the healing space last night when I was holding space proved to me, it validated for me that I am actually trusting myself more. And that's beautiful. And so I talked about a lot of what I was moving through, that spirit wants me to actually expose a lot of the shallow swimming spiritual accounts, because they are misleading masses, and there are masses already being misled. And I feel uncomfortable about that. And just really trying to see if it's darker forces trying to mislead me, or is it really spirit leading me and inspiring me to do these things and to step up into my power and talk about the heart opening. And I think one of the greatest lessons for the masses right now is that a lot of what the conspiracy theorists have been exposing is being shown as truth. And so the ultimate test then for those people, because you are awakened, and it's those that poo-pooed your ideas, they are the ones that need to be awakened. And so if we then say, told you so, and we're fucking rude with it, it takes us out of our integrity. Even though we want so badly to say that, to say, see, I'm validated, I'm not crazy. But instead to humble ourselves and say, I have compassion for you, and thank God you will finally get to see that I was right. And maybe all of those seeds that have been planted will now begin to germinate and grow. Stay humble, my loves, stay humble. And I share the story a lot, like my whole life, I've never met anyone like me. My whole life, and I just turned 50, so I'm not a young broad, but I've never had anybody seeing what I see as I see it when I'm seeing it, or experiencing what I experience when I'm experiencing it. Until last year, my daughter, who is just now recently 18, so she was 17 last year when this happened, and I had gotten so good at flawlessly experiencing something and being still engaged and present in a conversation without a glitch. And so I just kind of panned over and then back at her, and she said, "You saw that, right?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "Where did it go?" And she ran around to the bottom of my bed and she said, "Where did it go?" And I just started crying, because even though I had learned to trust myself, I really hadn't. Still always this whisper in the back of my head was like, "You're insane. Maybe you are insane. Maybe it's all in your head." And so that was a gift to me in that moment. And I didn't say, "I told you so that I see shit." I was so humbled in that moment. So yeah. Anyhow, that's the conversation that we had last night about honoring spirit and staying humble, because we are the true leaders of the Aquarian age when we can actually emulate that love and compassion and keep our hearts open to spite all of the ugliness that exists. So this is a sacred geometry. Thank you, Jen. This is a sacred geometry that showed up for me. And this is so interesting, because if you caught Tuesday night's video where I talked about the past life experience that I had being obedient to spirit while I was in the central coast of California last week, Earth Grid just validates that too and affirms that for me. So it showed up in the reverse. So Earth Grid in the reverse says, maybe what I need to do is to connect with grid points to recall my soul and become complete again. And like, holy shit, that's exactly what happened last week. and I shared that story Tuesday, and it's posted here on IG or my YouTube. But so that affirms that I literally did that very thing, connected to a grid point, and a space. Actually, spirit called me to that space, and as soon as I was in that space, energetically, my soul just right away remembered everything, the trees, everything. And so grid, the earth grid card as a sacred geometry showing up for me is like saying, we see you, we know you did it, and keep doing that. So okay, I'm gonna keep traveling and keep anchoring myself in grid points wherever I am called to go. And so serendipity, I had a conversation this morning first. I want to talk about that before I talk about the next card. So I pulled Earth Grid. I actually pulled my Ascended Masters, right? Horus. And so I've always felt that I was here to awaken the masses. And I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I knew it was through frequency. And I was told much later that I would be doing that through sacred union. And I heard in meditation that just as Isis and Osiris joined and birthed Horus, so shall you. But I didn't believe it was a human. And so the symbolism of Horus is the all-seeing eye. And so I believe in that sacred union, it would be the birthing of the mass awakening of the collective consciousness. And so I've been moving through that energy as well. And so for Horus to show up, I'm very grateful. Thank you for his energy today. And then an astounding yes from Ganesha. And so that's the abundance that I talk about. When you're aligned, you are abundant. And it's a completely different abundance than you would have being guided by ego or duty. So whatever abundance you gain in ego and duty, it shall be lost. But any abundance that you gain in duty of spirit and in alignment is eternal. And so victory, my prayers have been answered. We gonna see what we gonna see. And so the ocean of eternal love, I love that this came up. And so what I talked about in class last night and what came up for me in communion with the sea, the Pacific Ocean, specifically at Carmel Point, meditating in Carmel Point, I was moving a lot of rage. Hello. I was moving a lot of rage, and I felt right away the sea becoming more violent. And I was on a rock that was jutted pretty far out, and I didn't open my eyes. I stayed obedient, and I could hear the sea. But this rage was moving through me, and I just said, we're outnumbered. Just send the waters. Let the waters consume every fucking inch of this place. And I was disheartened because every day I would hike and replenish my well. And every night I would go out and eat. And deplete my well. Like literally walking, I would see people walking the beach alone with a mask. And I would wrap them in compassion and light and just feel their angst. And so the well that I had completely filled every single day was being depleted every day somehow, sending compassion and love, and feeling, yes, completely outnumbered. So when I was connecting with the sea, I said, just consume them all. Just do it. And then I was right away reprimanded. And I was reminded that I had done that before. And if I wanted different results, I had to do something different, that it didn't work before. And that was a holy shit moment for me. Because I know, being completely connected with Source, it was I who sent the floods. And it was me who buried this entire place in a deluge. And so in that moment, I cried. And I realized it is also me who can help birth the awakening of the masses. But it has to be done through love. And so the ocean of eternal love showed up this morning, and I was ugly crying, literally snot running out of my face, ugly crying, because, yeah. Wow. So yes, I will not send the deluge again. I will not beg the sea to bury everyone. So then I got conclusions are within reach, the full moon in eclipse card in my moon deck. And I was like, interesting. So the full moon eclipse card talks about a complete slamming of a door. And when that door is slammed, it cannot be reopened. Whereas new moon eclipse energy is about manifestation. So this, I believe, is tying up loose ends so that this today, now the new moon, I'll make a focus wheel, is really going to manifest for me. And that's the Yes by Ganesh. So I am excited about that. So anyhow, I had a conversation with a fellow spiritual leader, and I love him. He truly is a divine masculine king, and he's from New York like I am, but he's somewhere on the eastern coast, and I believe south. I don't know if he's in North Carolina, but somewhere that space, far away. Anyhow, he said he was called to message me this morning and wanted to thank me for my existence here on earth, which is so beautiful. But telling me that he knows, because he had a dream of me last night, that I am here to help all humanity. And he said, it was a past life where I knew you. And he said, and it's the only time I had ever seen you cry. And you said, I actually hold the key to save all of humanity, and I can't do it. I'm too scared to do it. And he said, I cried. And he said he knew in that moment that I was telling the truth. And he knew in that moment, upon awakening, that it was true also for Sherry. And yeah, I do believe that. So, serendipity. And I decided not to paraphrase. I decided to read this card because this card is what came up for me. And I decided not to paraphrase it. I decided to read right from the book because it was like a holy shit. Because literally right after I had that conversation with him and thanked him for the gift of sharing that with me, I pulled this card. So literally minutes, maybe not even a full minute. But the essential meaning of this card is the opportunity allied with readiness, the awareness of synchronicity, luck and good fortune appearing as signs and symbols, a magical alignment of events. You've stepped into alignment with the greater good, where your dreams and the collective dream resonate in exquisite harmony. Now is the time for luck and preparation to meet and create miracles that you could never have planned all by yourself. Keep in mind that you are a channel for providence right now as a higher energy uses you as a force on behalf of the whole world. Your fortune becomes everyone's fortune. Everything you bring into being now will leave a wondrous legacy for others in the future. Your service to the world is being supported at this time. Expect the unexpected and smile. For Spirit loves you so very much. And wow. So I ugly cried some more, which I'm so good at doing, and allowing Spirit to move through me. But it was an affirmation for sure, for sure. And so aquamarine is the stone that showed up for me today, and it's release. And so I am in that release, releasing the inability to trust myself, releasing self-doubt, releasing fear around exposing myself as the sun. And here's the only aquamarine that I have. And this was a gift by the beautiful Amanda Pasquinelli. And it is the Happy Buddha. So this is not the Buddha, because people tend to confuse this jovial, heavy-set fellow as the Buddha, but this is the Happy Buddha. He brings joy. So in my release, I embody joy. And the piece de resistance, I decided, because Spirit told me when I pulled from the White Oracle deck, that I am to gift that to my adopted dad and send it to him. Thank you, babe. Ooh, like Christmas.
Yeah.
I love you. My son went to the post office. Okay, so I'm going to gift that deck to him. And Elizabeth says, wow, that's powerful and beautiful. Thank you. So the Rumi deck really has a way of touching the deepest parts of my soul, and I'm always emotional. So I usually pull from this deck before I sleep. And then when I do breath work before I sleep, I always do breath work on whatever I've pulled. But since Spirit has me gifting that other deck to my adopted dad, because he's actually going to Kathmandu. Oh, no. Kilimanjaro. Yeah, Kilimanjaro this summer. I want him to have that with him. And so I'm going to pull from the Rumi deck each day. And so check out this card. And it's, first of all, 33, which is the harmonizing of all my parts, mind, body, spirit. And it says, you who show the way. And it is this beautiful sun ascending out of the sea. And I was actually beginning to write a poem today. I finally felt creatively inspired, divinely creatively inspired to write a new poem. And it was about a phoenix rising out of the sea, and literally like one of the first lines from this is about that. And I'm going to read that so that you can hear that, because I wasn't going to share it, but now Spirit just told me to share it. So I am obedient. Finding the page. You who show the way. And so the Rumi poem is, the logical mind runs away from drowning. Lovers accept drowning in the sea as their destiny. The logical mind finds consolation in reaching a level of comfort in life, where lovers are focused beyond their own comfort. And so the first lines of this is that I have looked to you in my darkest moments, searched for you as though fumbling for a candle and matches during an unexpected and interminable blackout. I am the ship at sea seeking you as my guiding light. Nay, I am the sea, rising up to the horizon because I yearn to be closer to you. Then, oh, to my greatest relief, you rise like a phoenix from the ocean. And that was a holy fuck for me, because my poem, okay, it's not finished, but I will read the first lines. We're made to believe the phoenix rose from ashes, not the sea, but it was the watery depths my fire returned to me. So yeah, I'm on that right now, on that synchronicity high, and I wanted to share it with you. So thank you for gifting me your most valuable commodity, your time, your energy. I love you. I'm ever grateful. Thank you. And I am sorry for wishing the sea swallow you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.